Hey guys, in this video I'll show you how I refurbish these Galaxy LCDs. This is an S4 LCD that I'll be doing today, but the general process is pretty much the same for all models. So you can pretty much take out the LCD and put it in a new frame with a new glass and it'll look pretty much like new. So let me show you how I do it. Okay guys, so I'm assuming that you've removed everything from this LCD assembly, just like me. So now we can start removing the glass. So we're going to heat the top part here, and I'm going to use my heat gun for that, but you can also use your hair dryer. And the temperature that you're looking to heat this to is just until it feels like a hot cup of tea would, right? So just use your fingers to feel how, what the temperature is, and right, just imagine that hot cup of tea, and that's about the temperature that you're looking to heat that to. So let's get started by heating the top glass of this LCD assembly. Okay, so it's nice and hot. I use this prying tool now to get underneath the left corner. I'm going to shove it under and just slowly separate the double-sided tape underneath. And you can see that the glass is already starting to separate. Now pull it to the other side and also remove the double-sided tape there. Now, if it's going too difficult, if it's too difficult, then just apply some extra heat. So I've got the two corners separated now. So here underneath this Samsung sign, there's also some double-sided tape. So we're gonna remove that too, but I want to apply a little bit of extra heat now. Okay, that should do it. So now slightly apply some upward pressure, and then you can shove this prying tool over the speaker. As you can see, through the speaker hole, it's moving over the speaker, and we can separate the double-sided tape underneath the Samsung sign. So now the whole top part of the glass is separated. And just leave the prying tool in like that. And then we're going to heat up this part right here, and then we're going to pull fishing wire underneath. And I can already see that the separation is really good with this phone, so I'm lucky. You can also get some bad separation, and then you're gonna have to pull really hard and apply a lot of heat before you're gonna get any separation. So now just shove the fishing wire underneath and make sure, right, that it's going over that speaker right there, and then you can see it here underneath the glass, and slowly pull down. And you can see the glass separating from the LCD. And slowly pull this all the way down. Alright, now let's pull this back up a bit, because we're going to apply some extra heat to this bottom part of the phone, and you don't want to melt that fishing wire. So just like that. Okay, that should do it. I'll pull this all the way down. the separation is going to be really great with this one. Just in case you're asking, I didn't pick this one, so it's just lucky. Okay, so we've got the full glass separated now. Pull the fishing wire out. Okay, now we're going to, so you can't just lift up the glass, don't do that. So leave it right here, and then we're going to remove these buttons here. All right, the menu button and the return button, and these are attached to the glass with a double-sided tape. So lift up your assembly, slowly pull the glass forward a bit, and then don't go too far, right? And then use your prying tool to remove these buttons from the glass. I don't know if you can see this. It's really hard to show you, of course. So just use your prying tool to get behind those buttons and slowly take them off from that glass. Okay, so I've got the right side done. I'm going to the left. I'm going to try to show you guys how to do that. Now you can see here. You can see this button here. It's pinned to the glass. Yes. Okay, and now we can lift up this glass slowly. Okay, so now you can just pull this off completely, and that's it. We've removed the glass from the LCD. And let's go to the next step. We got to clean this glass. Now I said I was lucky, but I'm not, because all the glue is still on the LCD. So I'm going to try to show you guys this LCD. So there's still a lot of glue on this LCD right now, but it's coming off pretty easily with my finger. But like I said, if you don't have this orange glow stuff that I showed you, then use your finger and simply do this to remove this glue. I'm going to show you how I use that orange glow, but first we're going to remove the home button, because I'm not sure if that stuff is any good for some electronic parts. So remove that home button, and then remove this flex cable. And just shove your prying tool underneath this button. And then lift this up. And then put your prying tool underneath, and then slowly it will come up. Then go to the back, and if this is still attached to the frame, then remove it. It's attached with some double-sided tape. Just pull this out. Okay, so this is the flex cable for the home button. The menu and return button, so we're going to need that later. Put it aside. Okay, so now we're going to use this orange glow to remove the glue from this LCD. I suggest you put something underneath, because that stuff is really going to go everywhere. So, and then just put some orange glow on top. Now, put on plenty and wipe it out a bit. I just use my prying tool, move it around. Okay, so we're gonna let this sit for about 10 minutes. It's just like I said, for this phone it's not necessary, for this particular phone, but you know, in most cases you definitely need some orange glow to get rid of that glue, otherwise it's going to take you ages. So completely move this around until it's everywhere, and then just let it sit for about 10 to 15 minutes. We come back and we can just wipe the glue up. Okay guys, it's been about 10 minutes and as you can see this stuff is going everywhere. So I use just this flat plastic tool, plastic razor blade to wipe it off, but you can also use a credit card. So it's just shove it under there and you can see it's coming off like that. And then just move it to the side. So this is, like I said, this is an easy phone, but with hard phones it'll work just as well. If the glue is hard to remove, this stuff will do wonders for you. Alright. Okay, now I've got most of the stuff off. There's still some spots where it's hard to remove. So what you can do is apply some more, wait a bit, and then you can just wipe this off too, or you can just force it, you know, like I'm trying right now. But it doesn't seem like this is going to work. So for these spots that I've got left here, I'm just going to put some extra on and just wait a bit again. Okay. Yeah, so just wipe it around over those spots, and you're gonna have to. You don't have to wait that long again, because they are really thin spots usually if you've got the bulk off. So just leave this for a while and then you can completely remove all the glue from your LCD. I think I'll be able to remove all the glue now. I forgot to mention it. Definitely put on some gloves because this stuff is, you know, I don't know what's in here, but it's definitely not good for your health. Okay, so now I can take everything off. Pretty much. Yeah. Yeah, this blue part right here, just take it off, doesn't matter. Okay. Okay. There's some small spots left that I'm trying to scratch off now. All right. Okay. I think we've got all the glue off. Right. So now, take a piece of microfiber cloth. And some 89% ethanol. Right, we can sort of wipe most of this stuff off. Right. Okay. Now just do this a few times. Take a new piece of cloth if you need to. If you see some more spots of glue, then just sort of rub them off again. Okay, so this is pretty clean now. I'm gonna use some more ethanol to clean it completely, and Alright, so I put on some gloves again because we're gonna use that LOCA stuff. So that's really unhealthy stuff right there. So if this thing is nice and clean, then you can go and we can go and start take out this LCD. So what I usually do is cut a corner of this playing card, and then I'm going to start at this side here and start work under this LCD. Now, because we've used this orange glow, this LCD should let go pretty easily. So I don't expect that this will be very hard. As you can see, I can easily move this under. So now that you're under the LCD, what I usually do is cut off this side. So now we can completely shove the card underneath. We can work in this fashion. Oh, be careful. Alright, you can start working forward to separate the double-sided tape that is underneath this LCD, and that is keeping this LCD attached to this frame. This is going pretty easy. Now, once you're in far enough, you can start to go along the side. Push it through to the other side. Now what you want to do is separate like 2/3, because here in this area, as you can see in the back, there is sort of a circuit board right here. So you want to watch out in that area. So just separate up to there. Now, once you've got those 2/3 separated, and I'm now starting to get close, just a little bit more. Okay, so once you've got those 2/3, you can start separating this side here. So the circuit board will go like this. So this side is free, so just take it out and then put it back in like a centimeter, and then move upwards, and then it comes out on top. Let me take out the speaker. Okay, so now it's almost ready to come out. I can already feel it starting to go, but don't force it. So what you can do is move underneath here, and now you're moving on top of the circuit board. as you can see here, the card is sliding in on top of the circuit board. As you can see, the card starting to appear here. It's on top of the circuit board, so I think it's ready to go. Yeah. So slowly. As you can see, we've got some weird separation, but that's okay. I'm just going to take this out, and then I'm going to pull it off so that, okay, it's almost ready to go. All right. Okay, so here's your LCD. This is the double-sided tape that attaches it to the frame. So if you want to reuse this frame, if you don't have a new frame, then take this out, right? Just take all this stuff out, clean it up. I'm gonna use a new frame, but you know, if you want to reuse this, make sure it's nice and clean. Take everything out, and you can reuse this pretty well. So let me put this away. So now here, the LCD, because we're going to put it in the mold, we're going to make sure it's pretty leveled, right? So you take off these extra pieces, right? And then, so this orange glow stuff, it's still everywhere. So we're going to use some ethanol again. And clean this LCD. All right. Let's clean this a bit too. The circuit board, you can clean the circuit board with some ethanol. Just be careful. And the connector. So now let's take the mold here, and we put in the LCD. All right, there we go. So before we put the LOCA on, the liquid optical clear adhesive, definitely make sure that the LCD is clean and free from any glue remains and stuff like that. It doesn't have to be completely clean. Just there can be some smudges and some fat on there because some oil, because the LOCA will take care of that. You won't see anything of that anymore, but make sure that there are no no hairs or no pieces of glue and other hard stuff, right? Solid stuff on this LCD. So just clean this up nicely. Right, because for the sake of efficiency, if you're doing this more often, you don't want to, take too much time doing this. It's not that important, right? Just clean off all the smudges and that you're done. Of course, if this is your own phone, definitely you want to take some time, of course, right? I'm going to go over it one more time. And then we're ready to apply the liquid optical clear adhesive. Dust is your enemy here. You don't want to have any dust underneath the glass if you're doing this LOCA stuff. So first, I recommend checking out the glass and making sure it's clean. So I'm going to take the plastic off this new glass. And sometimes there's an extra plastic layer on the back, so don't forget to remove that. In this case, there isn't. Now, usually the glass is pretty clean, and it seems pretty clean in this case. So I'm just gonna put it right here, then apply the LOCA, and then quickly place the glass. So remember, the connector is on the top. where the Samsung sign is. So the Samsung sign will be right here. So don't put the glass in the wrong way. Okay, so I've got the LOCA right here. I'm gonna give the glass one last checkup because I see some smudges. I'll just remove this. Okay, so now quickly apply the LOCA. Put a healthy amount on. Any excess will simply be pushed out. And apply some extra in the middle. Okay, so that's kind of the way I always do this. It's not that important, you know, to get the shape right or something, because you can simply push the glue to the remaining areas. So clean off the back of the glass, you know, just to remove any pieces of dust. Do it quickly. Take the other side off. Okay, I'm gonna do this one more time. See some stuff. Okay, now quickly apply the glass. Now what I do is I hold it here at the back and then I slowly drop it down. Slowly, slowly, slowly. Until you touch the LOCA. There you go. And now proceed slowly. You want to do this without air bubbles. If you do have some air bubbles, you can push them out, but not, you know, if you push out too much glue, of course, then, you know, it's going to bounce back, the glass is going to bounce back, and you're going to suck some air underneath again. So just slowly apply this. Push it down with your finger. Okay, so this is it. Now I just use gravity a bit. So I kind of, the glass doesn't want to go in nicely. So I'm just blocking it down here. Alright, here you go. Yes. Well, the mold was a bit dirty, so. There you go, you can see, right, sort of, the air bubble is kind of coming back. So. Okay, so it's, there's no air left, so just make sure that, you know, the top and the bottom, they are completely fixed to the mold. And that's what you want. So then the assembly has the right thickness to it. So just kind of push it back and forth a bit. Okay, so I see no bubbles getting pulled under the glass, so just leave it like this. What you can do, but I forgot to take them with me, is apply two magnets. What I usually do is apply a piece of tape here in the middle, place a magnet on top, place a magnet here on the other side of this mold, and then it will pull the glass against the LCD back. And I forgot to take this, so it doesn't. It's optional, but it's definitely helpful, right? Okay, so this is ready to cure. I'm gonna put the UV light on top, and using the light that I have, it's gonna take about 10 minutes to do that. Now, I always place a towel on top because there's some stray light, right, coming out underneath, and right, UV is not good for you, so just to be safe here, no need to put this on top. And then I just plug it in, and with this light, it's going to take about 10 to 15 minutes. Let's see if it works. Yes, it is. So it's going to take about 10 to 15 minutes for this to cure completely. Okay, so while the glue is curing, we can start to prepare the frame. Now, if you have a new frame, prepare it. If you use the old frame, then right, just do the same thing, but clean it well first. So I always take off this glue layer, right, that protects the double-sided tape that's around the sides of the frame. And what I do is I use my prying tool to fix the double-sided tape layer to the frame. Otherwise, if you have to remove the assembly or the LCD again, then you're gonna pull this tape out. So you don't want that. So definitely just take your time to fix this. Okay, now take off this layer here. This is some double-sided tape that will be gluing the circuit board of the LCD to the frame. Okay, so what I do then is I take a piece of cloth and some ethanol, and I completely clean this thing. Take all the oils off so that it will stick really well. And I also do this for the area where the flex cable will be. Definitely here in the area where the button is. Right, because in this area right here, we're going to apply a piece of double-sided tape to lift this button up a bit. Otherwise, it's not going to stick out of the glass like it would in an original assembly. So I'm just putting some double-sided tape in right here. And it usually doesn't stick that well, so that's why I cleaned it with ethanol. Okay. And there you go. Okay, so this small piece of double-sided tape here will lift up the home button a bit more. It will produce a better result. So now you can put the flex cable in. Into the frame. There you go. Alright, these holes in the flex cable, they align with two dots sticking out of the frame. So there you go, and then lastly you can apply the home button. There you go. Just kind of loosen some plastic protection on the home button. Okay, so, and this home button too is attached to the frame with two pins that go through two holes. Okay, so check if it pops. Okay, now give this one more rub with some ethanol. And then it will be ready to put the LCD in here. Okay, so to put this aside, now meanwhile the my LCD is almost done, so I'm going to take it out. Definitely make sure it's in there for like a good 10 minutes. So I'm going to remove the glue of the UV light. There we go. So this is cured. So as you can see, no air bubbles in here, so it's perfect. Now this will actually be sticking to the mold. So the best way to remove it is to use your two fingers to push here. Push this up. Take this out. So let's get this thing out of the way. Now I'll just take a new piece of paper, because there is still a lot of glue here that is not hardened, because there's no light penetrating on the back. So let's clean this, wipe off the glue. Right? Make sure you clean this really well. Because this glue is going to prevent this thing from sticking to the frame, so you definitely want to clean this very well. So what I usually do is take a piece of playing card, right, and then I just go along the edges here and take off these pieces of glue. There you go. Do the same thing on the other side here. Alright, now there's also some glue, always some glue building up here on the connector, on the ribbon cable of the LCD. So take that off too. There you go. And there's always some glue under here. So just use a playing card or something to take it off. Don't go too deep, of course, because otherwise you'll be pushing this playing card underneath the LCD. Alright. Now, I'm going to use some ethanol to clean this up well. Now, if you don't have one of those LCD stickers that are recommended you get, then it's going to be quite hard to fix this LCD assembly right to the frame. You're going to have to fix it using the double-sided tape along the edges because this doesn't stick anymore. Let's clean this up good. Now, if you do have one of those LCD stickers, then we're going to remove this sticker part here, but we're going to leave this where it is, right? So don't touch this. There's no need to touch the circuit board. You can only damage things. So I'm going to use my prying tool to remove the sticker. All right. This course is pretty slippery. All right, there we go. Slowly take this off. Now, you don't want to do this beforehand, so before gluing the glass to the LCD, because then the LCD is very vulnerable. Now it's much stronger. So, right, so just let this sit where it is and just pull it along the edges. There you go. Okay. Okay, so there's a little piece still here. Alright. Okay, now I'm gonna give this a quick rub with some ethanol. And then we're going to apply a new LCD sticker to the back. You don't have to completely clean this. There's some glue on the back of the sticker, but it's not necessary to completely wipe it off. Alright, so now we're going to apply a new sticker. So here it is. I'll take off the protective layer, and this doesn't matter because this piece, we don't want this piece anyway, so right, we can just break this off. This is the sticker for the circuit board. We don't need it. So this is the sticker you'll need. And then take your time to align this correctly, because if anything sticks out of the sides, then it's kind of hard to get a nice fit in the frame. So just align this really carefully. There you go. All right. Okay, so fix this sticker to the LCD. And I got this roller for it, but you can also use your fingers, of course. All right. All right. So now I'm going to give it a final clean, and then we're gonna put it in the frame, and that's it really. So let me just change this sheet of paper right here with a clean sheet. All right. Okay, so I'm going to take a new fresh cloth with ethanol. Give this a final clean, and you want to be careful, or you want to carefully clean these, the top part here, because this is the hole for the front camera. Now, if you want to take a lot of selfies, and that's in these days, right? Taking those selfies, you wanna have that hole nice and clean. Otherwise, you're gonna get these blurry selfies, right? That's not good. So make sure that this is really clean here. Also, the circuit board, you can wipe it off with some ethanol. Be careful though. And of course the sides. Make sure these sides are clean. This is where the double-sided tape will be sticking. Right? You don't want to be. You don't want there to be any glue. Right? That causes this uneven sticking to the frame. Then here too. Okay, so I'm satisfied. This looks good. Okay, so this thing is ready. Let's take off this protective layer. And put this inside the frame. So, alright, I'm going to give this frame one more rub. And then I'm going to use glue. Put a drop down here. And again, I'm going to put some glue on the edges here, and I do that because otherwise it's gonna the edges are gonna stick out. Usually, it's kind of hard to apply this without having those edges sticking out. So I'm going to put some glue right on these edges. Okay, there you go. And then don't waste too much time. Put the connector through his hole. And then put this down. And there you go. Now keep on the pressure. And I use this roller, but you can also use your hand. And fix this LCD to the frame. Now once you fix the middle part, then use your finger, your thumb, to fix the sides to the frame. Alright, this looks really good. The button is sticking out nicely. So that's exactly what we want. Alright. Now this is pretty much done. So before you put everything back in, let's check if this is working. So I'm going to take the motherboard and I'm going to connect it to the motherboard. Careful though. There you go. And then you take the battery and you can kind of push the battery against it. And then use your finger to keep it there. And then all you need to do is push this button right here, which is the power button. And then it should work. And there you go. So just wait like this, you know, until you can test the touch functionality. You cannot touch you cannot test these the home button and the ribbon cables because right, that cable is not connected. But you know, that cable is really hard to break. So let's just test the touch function, and if it works, put everything back in, and you're done. So starting to look good. Now I've got this one has this functionality where you can test the touch function. You're like, it's this code. I don't know if you guys seen it. I'll write it down. There you go. See, you can use this menu to test the touch function. And I accidentally killed it. Anyway, it's probably working, so I'm not gonna waste any more time. Put everything back in and you're done. Hey guys, I hope it worked out for you. Subscribe to this channel for more videos, and I hope to see you again soon.